for all the habitat work we've done, with the TSI, the planting of the switchgrass, and all the food plots that we've been implementing over the years, and it's finally paid off.
We love doing this stuff, and every one of these deer is special to us. This is a good one.
Can't you beat it? 0 to 60, man.
Whoa, what can you say about that? An absolute dream buck.
He's down right there, baby. Let's go. He's down right there. Demon freaking did it. Oh, man.
Insane night. Season on, game on.
Well, hey there, everybody. Welcome back to another Monday show of Midwest Whitetail. Hope you had a great Thanksgiving. Always appreciate the support. And wanted to just kind of tee up what we got in the show. We've got Justin Lubrecht and Mitch Malaris. You saw Tyler's back in November. We showed the Sooner hunt. And then, shortly following that, both Justin and Mitch were able to tag 2 bucks less than a week. And then on the regional series coming this Thursday, the Epperson brothers, they were able to catch up with the Roll Tide buck. And so this week in Midwest Whitetail, whether it's a show you're watching or if you do check and follow along with the Midwest Whitetail regional series, all the hunts are coming from a very small area with a group of guys that created some great memories this fall. So I really appreciate you being here. I hope you enjoy it. Mike mentioned it last week. We've got our giveaway going on for our Chasing November giveaway. It runs through December 28th, and all you gotta do to get entered is pick up some sort of thing off the website. Every dollar spent gets you an entry. And then the final thing before we jump with Mitch and Justin, what's coming up? We've had success from Brandon Quant, which is going to be next Monday's episode. I'm really excited to introduce you guys on a deeper level. Brandon loves bow hunting. He loves his family, loves farming. And that video is definitely going to showcase from start to finish a guy that had an incredible year and finally got his opportunity. And then Rye Ludwig, he tagged his biggest buck ever over in Illinois, and so that'll be another hunt that's coming up. That doesn't happen every day. We're really excited to bring those hunts to you. And then in Iowa, we're in shotgun season, so who knows what's gonna happen between now and then. I know Mike's out with the family. Owen's gonna be hitting the woods. Who knows what Drake and Justin get into, but regardless, we still got a lot of season left, and up to this point, we've had a lot of luck, but hopefully we can finish it strong. Hope you guys are having great hunts as always, and really, really appreciate you taking the time to watch another one. Hope you enjoyed these 2 kills in Missouri, and good luck hunting the next time you hit the woods.
Well, guys, welcome back to the show. Here in Missouri, this Missouri crew, we had quite the season, and really quite the November. As you've all already seen, Tyler's hunt for the Sooner buck came out a couple weeks ago, and coming up here next week, I believe Aiden's hunt for Roll Tide's going to come out. So those are both really fun hunts. But today we're out here hunting for the jackalope buck, and we're on the same plot where we had our last encounter with him. That was back on November 21st, I believe, and today's December 4th. Got really close to getting him. He went out this road. We got to make an adjustment on this plot, but I ended up getting some pictures of him after that. But since then, he's been MIA. I think that following day was the last pictures I've had of him. So I don't know if he's been harvested during the rifle season. The neighbor just to the north of us here, not very far at all, they have a standing bean field, a whole ag field full of standing beans. And with this real deep snow, I do feel like the deer have kind of migrated that direction. But moving on, this week's episode, we're going to be bringing you Justin's hunt for Lefty on the Buck 30 farm for a deer that he believed to be 7.5 years old. And just days after that, I finally caught up with the buck we call Caesar. I hunted pretty hard all the way through my rutcation and got right down there at the very end. I only had a few days left before I had to go back to work, and luckily enough caught up with the Caesar buck on what is probably going to be one of my favorite rut hunts that I've ever personally had. Seeing him and then seeing the Kirby buck as well. I've never had that, both bucks in bow range. It was a lot of fun, one I will not soon forget. So hopefully you guys enjoy the show today.
You better not be screwing with it. You got
Down the wire, Lefty. Well, guys, in 2021, I was fortunate to buy the Buck 30. That's unique piece of property that we always looked at over on the east side of the farm, and with the purchase of that piece, it was allowing us to hunt that buck we call Crab King and another option. We was only able to hunt one side of that farm, and then now with getting that piece bought, I was able to hunt the whole block of the timber over there. Coming into 2022, we knew exactly what we needed to do on that piece in order to make it work out great for us to hunt that deer of an early season. Well guys, me and Tyler just got up here on this brand new piece that I was able to purchase late last year. This piece borders us to the northeast, and we really like it a lot, as in years past all we could really do was hunt the south side of the sanctuary here. Well, now this is going to allow us to hunt the north and the south, so we can play the winds a lot more. The meantime, as I was trying to strike up a deal with the previous landowner, he was generous to let us run some trail cameras on it last year. And it's kind of putting the pieces of the puzzle, as a buck we call Crab King. That's our main target this year. He was using it a lot. This year, as we kind of just engineered this whole food plot around that deer, as we've left a half-acre plot on the south end of it. As you can tell here, we planted a bunch of Egyptian wheat in the main plot and beans in the center, as where we typically plant corn, but the input costs are so high this year, we elected to go with the Egyptian wheat and then the beans in the center, and that's going to allow us to get in it and out of the redneck down there on that half-acre plot. Another thing we like about this particular piece is the timber's been TSI'd about 10 to 15 years ago, so it's nice and thick. We feel like the deer are using a lot for bedding. And then something that we're going to start doing next year is we're going to plant a lot of switchgrasses. We're going to get at it here. We're going to get that 1/4 acre of turnips in. Hopefully we catch some timely rains in the meantime. Rolling into the 2022 season, we knew on the buck 30 our main target was there, was to shape it up for the buck we call Crab King. So we went in there and implemented a green plot on the south side of it. It worked like clockwork. Crab King showed up in there in the daylight, except I was just hunting the wrong side. I was hunting over on the peninsula plot, which is to the south of it, and that's where Tyler was fortunate to harvest that deer a couple days later. So that worked like a charm. He just wasn't able to get it done on the buck 30, but we got it done over at the peninsula plot. But in that particular plot, we had some other bucks that were using it that were up and comers. We had what we call the K2 buck, a nice, what we believe a 4.5-year-old buck with the splits on its twos. We had B9, very distinct rep, and another buck that we're talking about the story today, Lefty, kind of looked like Wishbone, the buck that Tyler killed back in 2019. A nice, frame, had one good 4-point side, and on his left side it was just kind of looked like he may have had an injury that year. That's kind of when we kind of started putting pieces of the puzzle to him, but that's kind of where he got the name Lefty was. Them particular deer were using that plot a lot, and not so much using the rest of the what we call BBA, the main farm there. So, this farm does house certain deer that does not house over on our main farm that we call BBA. Going into the 23 season, we knew that we had to make some improvements on the timber in there. The farm had been TSI'd several years before I had purchased it, but I knew I wanted to get in there and enhance it some more. So I elected to go in there and burn it on 2 different burns. And that was, get the undergrowth leaves all burnt off of it, and it would boost up the browse on the underneath side of it there. Well guys, me and Tyler are up here on a piece of property purchased late last year. What we're going to be doing tonight is a controlled burn, and we've been fortunate to be working with the NRCS, and we was lucky enough to get qualified for EQIP plan. And what that is, it's a TSI program. What this does to a property and why it's so valuable is it takes the foliage from 200 to 300 pounds and it bumps it up to 2,000 to 3,000 pounds of browsing. And that's just basically a massive food plot in the timber. The deer spend 50% of the time browsing in there as they do the other 50% out in the ag fields. And it just gets, that much more nutrients to the deer. And it's not only for the deer, it's for everything, for your timber as well. As by us doing the burn, it's going to get the oak regeneration started, and then it just opens up the forest floor. So that's one of the main things that we like to do on the properties that we manage. So we've got perfect conditions tonight, so we're going to get after it here. think it knocked a lot of them back. Well guys, me and Tyler are up here at the buck 30. This is a particular piece we burnt off about a month ago. And what we're up here doing today is we're gonna drill in some switchgrass into this 1 acre secluded field. What we're hoping this does is we're hoping it's gonna house more deers. It's gonna create more of a bedding area. How this farm is set up is we've got ag to the south and ag to the north. So what we're trying to do here is keep the bedding in the middle here as we can hunt the south and the north, as our main farm is just to the south of this particular piece. With that being said, we're gonna get at it here. Well, I'm up here planting a corn plot on the buck 30. As this plot really won't shine until late season, but we like to utilize it as an entering and exiting to a green plot that we got located on the south end of it, where we got a redneck station in there. And hopefully we can catch up with that K2 buck or that B9 deer come this fall. Guys, we're over here at the buck 30 today. We're going to be drilling some oats in here, and we're also checking on the turnip plot that we planted here a couple weeks ago, and it's just starting to come on. On the oats here, we're going to be planting 110 pounds of the acre, and I'm also putting about a pound of turnips to the acre to incorporate in with it with the drill. And what I like to do with the oats as well is I like to put some nitrogen to it, as I believe it gets the plant more saltier taste to them. It's just more of a sweeter taste to them. So put 60 pounds the acre down to that as well. So we've got several other plots to do today, so we're going to get at it. So the 2023 season rolls around here. We're getting the buck 30. It's looking good. Went with the corn this year. It's looking great. Drilled the switchgrass in. It's coming up nice. This year here, all eyes was on a buck we call Velveeta, and he never really did use that side of the farm much. He was kind of over on the main farm of BBA on the main plot. And so that's where I was spending a lot of my time that year. But B9 and Lefty were still over there on the buck 30 using it a lot. And I wasn't able to harvest Velveeta during the first bow season. So rolling into late season there, I was hunting him hard back on the food plot. We was getting good conditions, just wasn't able to catch up with him. But I was hunting that plot very hard, so I decided I was going to give it a break. So I went over and hunted the buck 30 on January the 7th. Well guys, good afternoon. It's January the 6th. I've decided to come over here and hunt the buck 30 this evening. Gonna give the big plot a break where I've been going after that buck we call Velveeta. It's a very bulletproof set to get in and out of, as we got a short walk through the corn to get in here, and that's what's key when it comes to late season. You gotta be able to get in and out, because if you don't, you're basically about gonna hunt that spot 1 or 2 times and it's gonna be done. The deer's not gonna feed in there in daylight. So I did have a nice buck on camera in here 2 days ago. Not really sure who he was. Maybe he steps out tonight, give an evaluation. If it's a nice buck, I'm gonna take him. But we could also possibly see B9. That's a very nice deer. We're gonna get settled in here, and hopefully we can lay eyes on that mystery buck. I think it's B9. Though B9 never presented me a shot there, we knew it was a good sign as he came out of that bedding area that we'd burned the previous year into that green plot. And is another good takeaway of having that corn planted in there now, as I can enter and exit through the back side of that blind as the deer feed out, and that way I'm not burning up a late season spot there. To end that year, I was able to catch up with Velveeta down at the very end, second to the last day of the season, so that capped off a high note for that year. But coming into the 2024 season, we had another big project on our mind, and that was what we ended up calling the Swish plot. It was all dedicated for a buck we call Swish. We'd found the sheds to him, knew he was alive, but unfortunately he never did show back up that year over there. But the plot's looking good over there. Tyler was fortunate to harvest Watusi, and that was just to the north of the Swish plot, in there where we did all that TSI work. My eyes was kind of on another buck that year. I was going after G4, hunted him pretty hard, ended up having one encounter with him. He slipped on us pretty quickly and wasn't able to get an arrow in him. Hunted him a couple more days after that, and then I switched gears up and went after a buck we call Poncho, a nice 6.5-year-old 10 over on Redemption Ridge. Me and Mitch went in there the first morning, actually first deer we seen. He come right down in there and I was able to get an arrow in him. Lefty, meanwhile, he's still using the buck 30 frequently, just was out of sight, out of mind. Still same nice 4-point sight on the right and a screwed up left side. But what he did have was a drop tine, and that's one key thing that I've always wanted to kill, is a buck with a drop tine. Rifle season comes and goes. Late season's coming around. Tyler goes back and hunts the big plot, and wouldn't you know, Lefty makes an appearance in there for the first time for him to lay eyes on that particular deer. And then it wasn't a couple days later, me and Mitch decided to go back in there, and sure enough, Lefty comes out again.
Okay, I'm on him.
Well, here it is. It's January the 8th, and Mitch and I just got set up in the redneck back here on the big food plot. On our way in here, we had one of the good bucks that got high hopes for next year, a buck we call Lefty. He was out there with the doe, and we almost got in clean, and the leg off the camera smacked the stand, and he didn't quite know what was up, but he knew something was up, and wherever that doe went, he went after her. It was kind of odd. Me and Mitch was talking about it. She may still be in heat, but, that's kind of odd for this time of year. So we're going to settle in here, and the movement should be pretty good this evening. Seeing Lefty on the hoof for the first time was pretty exciting. It just caught me off guard of seeing him over there on the main big plot. That comes to an end for the season. Still no sheds out of Lefty, which is kind of odd. But coming into the 2025 season, all eyes are definitely on Lefty this year, as he was going to be a 7.5-year-old deer. So we're implementing the food the same on the buck 30, just to mimic what we've done in the years past. Don't want to change anything up on him, as we got the green plot to the south, the corn in behind it, with the redneck implemented in there, as we got the path that we can come in and out of the backside. Now we're just waiting to make the move on him when he comes into there. But for my first set of the year, back on October the 7th, I take my wife Caitlin and our daughter Darla over and set in a box stand, and let me tell you, it was quite an experience. Guys, here it is. It's the evening of October the 7th, and we're finally making our debut for the 2025 season. As it seemed like it's deja vu all over again here in the Midwest, as I think we're going on our third consecutive year of an extreme drought. We was able to get a rain a couple weeks ago. Our plots came up a little bit, but as you can tell, they're kind of spotty. But one thing we got going for us this year is Kate just gave birth to our second child back on September the 4th. A little boy named Simon. Hey. But we got our daughter, Darla, with us this evening, but we're in here after 3 bucks this evening. A good 8-pointer and 2 10s. We just had a major cold front move through the area, so that's why we're in here hunting tonight. And we're hoping that it's going to get the deer up on their feet, and moving forward here, you'll start seeing a lot more action from us out here. But like I said, we've been found a drought, and the deer just haven't been moving much. So we're going to get settled in here, and hopefully dollar's a good luck charm and Kay can get it done again. Well, that was quite the experience getting Caitlin and Darla out there hunting on October the 7th, as it didn't end as well as I wanted it to, as the deer came out, and as kids do, 2-year-olds, she threw a little temper tantrum and it cleared the field, so there was no need for us to sit around any longer. We got out of there. You know, we always try to get her out once every year, and that was the hunt that we got her out for the year. But as far as my season going, I'm still trying to target the G4 buck. That's the deer I was hunting the previous year. Season's coming and going, and still no pictures of G4 showing up. So I was waiting to make a move on Lefty as we was watching the cameras and seeing what he was doing. Just kind of waiting for him to make a consistent pattern on the buck 30. And sure enough, on November the 6th, I got a series of pictures of him on that pot, and I knew on that afternoon I needed to be in that particular area. Guys, here it is. It's November the 6th, and Tyler and I are set up in this redneck over here at the buck 30. This is a spot I probably should have came and hunted this morning, as Lefty was over here hitting that scrape tree, and another nice mature 8-pointer was right behind him over here, also hitting a scrape tree to the west of us here. But that's the two main targets we're in here after, and we got a perfect southeasterly breeze. As this time of the year, I mean, we can't emphasize on enough how you've got to have enter and exit to get into a stand, because if you don't, you're going to blow your spots out. And with this corn behind us, we was able to come right in with the wind in our face, and we'll leave with the wind in our back. So we're hunting over a oats plot in monster buck red greens. So we've got the perfect recipe out there in front of them. Now we just need them to make an appearance.
seems to be a thing that happens for us. I don't know what it is. It seems to be when me and Tyler are together, it comes all the way down to the wire. I was wrapping it up. I didn't think it was going to happen. And a little bitty buck come out, and then Lefty. That's the buck we was in here after. Came and hit that scrape tree just like we wanted him to. My Luminoc didn't work on that. Did you notice that? Yeah. It felt good. Oh, that's an old deer right there. That's a 7.5-year-old deer. Wow, I can't believe it. I guess we got to FaceTime Mitch.
You better not be screwing with it. You got?
I was pretty sure I did. Down the wire, Lefty. Came right into the scrape tree. My Luminoc didn't work. It's the one I had working last night, and it didn't go off, so I don't know. Well, we just went back and looked at the footage there because it was, my Luminoc didn't work, so I couldn't tell exactly where I hit it, but it's kind of on the line here. It could be double lung or it's liver. It's one of those two for sure. It's definitely in the money for sure. So we're gonna get down and go see if we can find my arrow and make a game plan after we take a look at that. I like it. That's clear blood on there. Well, we just got back to the truck here. We went down and found my arrow. It was just probably, I don't know, 10 feet from where I shot him at there. I didn't want to talk right there because still unsure kind of where I hit him at. It looks for sure a lung, maybe a liver, but we're just going to play it safe, give him some time, go home, feed the kiddos, let them get to bed, and we're going to come back out here probably around 9:30, 10 o'clock, and hopefully get our hands on old Lefty. Wow. Oh, he died instantly. Look at that.
Did?
He's stiff as a board.
Look at that kid, man. Wow.
It's a frame. Dude, that there reminds me of Big Chief. Well, guys, here he is. Had a lot of blood there right off the rip in the last 20 yards there. It got kind of spotty. We was getting kind of worried there, but we was tracking down on through here, and then I look up and there he was laying here dead. And you know, we erred on the side of caution, and turns out we didn't need to. He was stiff as a board. But the reason why we came over here and hunted the buck 30 is he was daylight on this particular plot this morning, and he's been in this area. I have a lot of daylight pictures of him. You know, the reason we believe he was calling this home, it was from all the burning and stuff that we did in here a couple years ago. It thickened this up in here, and the last few years he's really dialed in this area here, and I really do believe that that burning played a big role in why he was calling this home. Something odd about this deer is, you know, I can't really remember too many encounters with him. I just know that I had an encounter with him late season last year back on the big food plot with Mitch. And then there was Jimmy and Tyler was up here hunting late season out on the lone coyote tree, and they had an encounter with him. And another odd thing with him is that, you know, we don't have any sheds of this deer. With him, what we believe is 7.5 years of age. That's very odd for us up here. Typically, all the bucks we kill up here, we've got several years of history with them. But it's the first buck that I've harvested on the buck 30 here. Purchased this farm a couple years ago that adjoins the main farm that we call BBA. Hopefully moving forward here, we can keep the ball rolling as Tyler's already tagged out. I got him tonight, and hopefully Mitch can get one down in days to come, and we can have a three-peat just like last year.
It's always nice to see a good friend be successful, especially on a farm that they had just purchased, and a farm that we all work together as a team to get developed, and especially since it was Justin's first harvest on that farm. And being a great buck like Lefty and all, so pretty special hunt. But rolling into my season here in 2025, I'm hunting the same farm that I was lucky enough to kill 2 bucks on last year. The Patches deer that kind of harvested over a decoy, and then a late season kill on December 3rd over a green plot, the old 8. Rolling into the 2025 season, there was a few bucks that we were hoping to catch up with, and I got some cutty bags deployed during the summer months, and lo and behold, jackalope buck had shown back up, and that was a deer we knew very well from the previous season. And then a buck kind of out in the middle in a slough, a buck we didn't know, and we ended up calling Kirby. And those were both 2 really nice bucks. We knew for sure that I wanted to go after jackalope, and Kirby was going to make that list as well. And we had a few other familiar faces show up.
This is what we call the central plot, and this is actually where I've been getting pictures of the jackalope buck. I don't know if you guys remember him from last year. Me and Tyler had an encounter with him, it would have been late November last season over a decoy, right in the same stand where I'd shot the Patches buck. So Justin, he's finishing up there. We jumped ahead of him. We're gonna go ahead and spread the fertilizer, and then he'll come in here and drill those monster buck oats and the monster buck blend. Kind of what we did this year, instead of working the plots up, come in here and sprayed them, got everything killed. We're gonna leave the dry, dead grass and everything to help hold moisture. Just drill right into it and see how that works out for us. Well, we're on to our 3rd and final plot for the day here. This is the far northeast plot. It's been a good plot for us for over the years, and typically get a lot of daylights right here over my shoulder on this branch where they scrape at. This year we're hoping to get on that Caesar buck that we had. He was in here quite a bit last year as a 4-year-old, and he was hitting the scrape over here, but he was in here quite a bit, and we kind of got high hopes for him. We don't have any pictures of him yet this year, but just how little they move during the summer. He could be just right here on an ag field, and we're just not getting him yet. But those are the 2 main deer we're going to be looking for up here. Season's approaching quickly, and get the cuttybacks back out in full swing, and hopefully be chasing some giants this fall.
With the intel that we had, there was no pictures of Caesar yet. He was still MIA, and rolling in to the fall, we hit a really, really bad drought. So we were very fortunate to have the Great Plains drill to help us plant in these dry conditions, being able to get that seed into the ground and just drill it straight in and not work the ground up, and really retain the moisture that was there, get the seed covered, and then that way the seed's not sitting on top of the ground, and then the dew and everything, get the seed to swell, and then you lose your plots. So rolling into the hunting season, I finally got all the cuttybacks completely set up, cutting link system rolling, and lo and behold, Caesar finally showed up on what we call the Rodney plot. After jackalope shed velvet, he kind of went MIA on us, and so did Kirby. Those bucks both kind of went and did their own thing for a little bit, but coming into the lighter part of October, we were anticipating jackalope showing up on this plot, and we ended up having some really nice encounters with the Al Gore buck and a really nice 9.
He actually grew quite a bit from last year. Mm-hmm. He looks good.
Well, guys, that's going to wrap it up for us. That was an awesome first night out. Seeing old Al down there. I know I have to work the next 2 days. I'm off a couple days. I'm going to work 2 more, and then my vacation starts for rutcation. So it's pretty early tonight to have a buck like that up on the ground. Gives me a little bit more hope to see Jack tonight. Getting down to the last 20 or 30 minutes here. Hopefully here, a little bit of light we got left, old Jack will make an appearance, but I got 2 more days of work left. and then I start vacation. We are going to be getting after it and hopefully getting a good buck down here. We'll see if it works out for us. Following those 2 hunts, the best time of the season's nearly here. My vacation's getting ready to start. I take off nearly 3 weeks from work just to get out here and hunt these deer, and November being right around the corner. Typically in a season, we kind of dictate who hunts by who has the highest odds of killing. And just so happened to be this season, I don't know that I was the one with the highest odds of killing, but Tyler and Justin were kind of waiting back for certain deer to show, and we're waiting for the right time to strike. And so I was very fortunate to be in front of the camera and have a lot of hunting opportunity in that early part of, or late October and early part of November. Small buck. I'd say it's probably going to pretty much do it for us unless he comes right down this fence line here pretty quick. But that was a great night. I mean, deer moving everywhere. We probably seen 25 deer or better. Got to see the Algor buck again. Did not see jackalope. That's the deer we're in here after. Kind of seems like there might be some does getting really close to cycling. So he might be on a doe right now. Well, guys, it's November 1st. Me and Justin have switched it up a little bit, decided to come to the far end of this farm over here and hunt a different spot, kind of give the other end a break for jackalope. Come down here and hunt the brushy bottom set. There's 2 shooters down here that we're after, one being Caesar and another deer we call Kirby. Those are the 2 shooters right around here. There's a creek here behind us, and then across the way there's like an old marsh kind of area where the creek, I guess, used to be. Kind of makes a good bottleneck right here. And all this is all grown up, just random trees and weeds and stuff growing in here. These deer like to mingle around in here. Cruise to this creek looking for hot does. So hopefully one of those bucks comes cruising by and gives us a chip shot. Well, it is the morning of November 2nd, and me and Tyler have made a move this morning to hunt a stand that we haven't hunted in probably 2 years. We're not real far from the brushy bottom set. We've had some daylights of Kirby and Caesar right here on this plot. Just gotta get one of them to make a mistake and come through here. Well, that's pretty much going to wrap it up for us here tonight. We're going to get down while there's no deer around. After he daylighted like that, he's here, he's in the area. I think it's a matter of time before he makes a mistake and we get a shot at him. But any day now, Justin's going to start hunting, so hopefully we have another one down here in the next few days. That back there is the big splitter buck, the 4-year-old that I was really hoping to see tonight. If he can make it through Missouri's rifle season and get by everybody else with a bow, that deer will be could be an absolute mega giant next year. So I'm going to hope that he makes it about as much as anything.
So thus far, the season has been absolutely on fire with Tyler and Justin tagging out. And come November 9th, a massive cold front blows in. And trying to decide where I was going to hunt that evening. I knew I had to be in a tree somewhere. Talked to Tyler. Just had a gut feeling that we needed to be in that brushy bottom setup with a hard wind blowing right in our face. We knew it was going to be brutal. But that's the decision we went with. And the rest is history.
Good evening, everybody. It's November 9th, and man, we have had a cold front blow in. Just the other day, it was 70 degrees. And I wake up this morning with the wind chill. It was down in the 20s, I think. So yesterday evening, we had a massive wind switch, and I believe the wind was going to be swirling quite a bit. So I opted to pass on hunting last night. Today, we've decided to come into the brushy bottom set. Throughout the day, some pictures have been coming in. Deer have been moving somewhat decent. Kirby was actually just over here about 200 or 300 yards at 10 o'clock this morning. It's a good sign. Hopefully the deer are going to be up moving good this evening, especially since this front, we're on the back side of it. Clouds are kind of clearing out and getting some bluebird skies there, so it feels right. Just if the wind would lay just a little bit, it just feels like it'd be perfect. So I love the spot. I love how this place sets up. It's one of the nastiest, coolest looking sets we got, so just need it to pay off. So we'll see if it works for us. Slightly, but I think it got in there.
Yeah, did you see him starting to kind of bounce in there?
He was following that doe right through here. It could not have worked any more perfect than what we wanted. He was starting to trot. Do you see that? I guess I could have let him go here, but I was worried he was going to take off. That went from 0 to 100. But it's just, you just never know. It's November 9th.
You've got to be kidding. This is insane. Absolutely insane. That's the other shooter. That's the buck we thought we would see in here. Actually watching the footage of me shooting Caesar. And I heard something, I turned around. I don't know if he walked right past us here or not. That's Kirby. That's the other deer we were in here after. That is insane. I cannot believe that. I think that's the first time that's ever happened to me, where both your shooters show up within 10 minutes of each other.
Well, me and Tyler have gotten back to the truck, really slowed the footage down and started looking at it. And right as I stop him, he really kind of he turns and almost squares up with us a bit. And that arrow it is tight to the shoulder, but err on the side of caution, just say one lung liver. We're going to leave him overnight and come back to get him tomorrow. It could be double lung, but just the way he turns and the way he's angled there, I don't want to go in there and bump him and then we end up in a bad situation. So I think err on the side of caution, stay out of there, come back tomorrow, and I believe we will find a dead deer.
There's blood way up here. If we're going across grass like this, we're finding blood pretty easy. Blood all through here. Blood there.
There he is, boys. Good night.
Couple, I didn't know he had these little bumps there.
Well, guys, here he is. We found him right here in the CRP, probably, I don't know, 200 yards from the stand or so, but this is the Caesar buck. He got his name last year from when he'd been rubbing on a tree, and he had these little branches, green branches in there, kind of look like Caesar's crown, so that's where he got his name from. But 2 years ago, when we first started getting pictures of this buck, me and Justin were in here hunting the Dagger 10 buck, and that was back in 23. And we had a corn plot right over here to my right, and we were hunting there of an evening, and this buck, as a 3-year-old, come blasting out of the woods, this block of timber behind me, and he chased that doe around. So he's been in here for a while. He's called this place home for at least the last 2 years anyway. So he's a neat deer, got a mass here, got a little extra stuff there, but he's just one of those deer. When they're 5 years old, they're on the list no matter what. So yesterday, me and Tyler were game planning for the evening. That stand location, the reason we have it there is because it makes a nice natural pinch. You got the grass to the north of you and then a creek to the south. So any northerly wind, you can blow it over that creek. And then there's a willow, kind of a willow thicket, swampy area that typically holds water. Kind of comes down into there, and it creates just this real nice natural pinch for these deer to cruise through. And especially with that north wind, these bucks can come scent check all this grass. Now last night they were on a hot doe, and as you've seen, both of the shooters were in there. He come through first, he got the treatment, and 10 minutes later, Kirby come cruising through there on the same doe. I don't think I've ever seen that. I know I've never had both target deer in bow range within 10 minutes of each other. I've never seen it even within hours of each other. So that was a really neat hunt. One we'll never forget, but this is a good one. We love doing this stuff, and every one of these deer is special to us. So can't wait to get out and do it again.
Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed the episode. We were very fortunate to harvest those deer this year, and when we first started this journey of filming our hunts 9 years ago with Midwest Whitetail, it was always a goal of ours to try to get all three of us our bucks killed with our bow before the Missouri rifle season. And last year was the very first season that happened for us, and then lo and behold, we got to do it again this year. So it's been a blast, and hopefully we can continue to the streak into next season.
And we can attest to that, and the reason being is I think we've been so successful is it's for all the habitat work we've done, with the TSI, the planting of the switchgrass, and all the food plots that we've been implementing over the years, and it's finally paid off. So thanks for watching Midwest Whitetail.